can't imagine what it must feel like to say goodbye to your father, Kate. I'm going to cheer you up by buying whatever you want today,
Grace announced. Kate, Grace, and Lila sat outside a small shop to take a break from shopping around the town. Due to the cold weather, they ordered tea to warm up and chat.
It would have been great if you had attended the funeral, but this is fine, I suppose. Don't cry later if I want an expensive bag to make myself happy,
Kate joked, partially because she was planning on getting a new bag out of this.
Fine.
Grace patted Kate's hand.
It's good Lila was there to comfort you. All the town has been talking about since yesterday is your father's funeral. As they should. He will be missed by a lot of people.
Kate smiled, enjoying the attention the funeral placed on her family. As they were confused by Kate's response, Grace and Lila shared a look.
That's not what they're talking about, Kate. They are discussing your sister and the Duke purposely going out of town when the funeral happened. They wonder why they missed the funeral, especially your sister,
Lila informed Kate. She had been enjoying every piece of the gossip as it placed Alessandra in a bad light. Kate expected others to wonder about Alessandra not attending the funeral with Edgar, because many of them were not yet aware that Edgar was the one to kill her father. Those who knew about it were made to keep quiet until the town guards announced it themselves.
Why would she attend when she dislikes us? She likes her life as Duchess so much that she doesn't look back to where she came from. That horrible girl. We should be preparing for your marriage to the Duke right now. We worked so hard for you to get close to the Duke, but she swooped right in and stole him. You cannot steal the man your sister had eyes on. It's disgusting. I'm so glad everyone is talking about her and the cook.
Grace chuckled. Grace disliked how Alessandra walked around with her head in the air, looking down on them because she married Edgar. She knew it wouldn't be long before Edgar got bored of Alessandra.
Grace, you can't say such a thing. It's embarrassing for Kate if you say Alessandra swooped in and stole Edgar. It's bad enough we gave up courting Edgar just for this to happen,
said Lila. Kate glared at Lila, as it was evident there was something she had to say.
Spit it out. What are you trying to say? It's not me that's saying something, Kate. Our peers laugh at you for losing Edgar to a girl wearing a mask. It's starting to get embarrassing for me, but since we have been friends for so long...
You should be embarrassed, Kate agreed with Lila.
None of you gave up Edgar for me. You all tried flirting with him behind my back. It is not only me who has lost Edgar to Alessandra. It's just annoying that she is my half-sister. Well, you were so loud and proud about getting married by now, but you are still without a suitor. I am only worried about you as a friend. I fear that Alessandra has placed a curse on you, and now the once-loved Kate Barrett has fallen from her throne,
Lila said in a sad tone, but she was happy about it on the inside. Grace hid her smile behind her cup. It was amusing to see how silent Kate had become these days. It was even more entertaining that Lila told Kate her harsh reality. Grace considered herself the messy one.
What about you? You were right alongside me speaking of marriage, but last I checked, your mother was crying because she feared you would end up alone after no offers from men. Alessandra might have taken Edgar, but plenty of men still lined up to wed me. There's something that I did not tell either of you about as I have been busy.
Kate smiled, ready to inform them about Simon. Lila held up her hand to stop Kate from sharing her good news. She opened her small bag and took out 2 envelopes.
I have something to say first. We all thought Kate would get married first, but times have changed. I am getting married next month. It seems you saw my mother crying tears of joy. What the Lila?
Grace exclaimed, as she had never once heard Lila mention a man she was courting to now be engaged.
Where's the ring? How could you keep a big secret from me? You sly fox. We were looking at men the other day.
Kate dug her nails into her skin below the table to hide her jealousy. How could Lila be getting married before her when she was the best-looking one in the group? It was always expected that Kate would be the first one to marry.
This seems like a rash decision, since we did not know you were seeing someone. I hope your parents aren't selling you off,
she said. Lila did not pay any mind to Kate's jab. She was well aware that Kate was fuming with jealousy.
My parents are not in debt to need to sell me off. It was my decision. He is a very nice man, and I will introduce the two of you to him soon. I will ensure you two find wonderful suitors by the end of the year.
Lila enjoyed that, for once, the attention was on her, and Kate would have to rely on her help to get married.
I'm bored.
Kate stood up from her seat.
I am going... We must stop meeting like this.
Simon grabbed Kate to stop her from falling after he bumped into her.
I was coming to greet you, but you abruptly stood up. Were you about to leave?
Kate looked at Simon in disbelief. How did the world know she was praying for him to show up to rub in Lila's face? Indeed, the man Lila had could not beat a marquis.
No.
She sat back down.
It is nice to see you again, Simon. I have been waiting for more news about the party you would like me to attend with you. I meant to send word, but I heard you were dealing with your father's funeral and thought it would be bad timing. I apologize for being unable to attend the funeral, as I had to travel that day unexpectedly. I sent flowers to your home. Did you like them?
When she left home, Kate didn't see any flowers, but she replied,
Yes, they were lovely. My mother wants to invite you over for dinner to thank you for being so nice. Have a seat.
She pointed to the empty chair beside her.
If you insist.
Simon pulled out the chair to sit down, but almost fell.
Excuse me, I am quite clumsy. So, about this party?
Kate inquired, as it would make Lila jealous. She smiled to let Lila know without words that she was still on the throne. Lila might be getting married, but Kate was securing a marquis as her husband.
No fair! The two of you have been holding out on me. I wasn't aware you had spoken to Kate after what happened at the ball. Can I also just call you Simon?
Grace asked. She was less interested in Lila's news now that the Marquis was here. Leave it up to Kate to already hook her claws into another man.
He has a title that should be respected.
Kate glared at Grace. Why should anyone other than her at the table just call him Simon?
It's okay. It's tiring to be called by my title in settings like this. Just call me by my first name,
he permitted Grace.
Were the three of you celebrating good news? Yes. My best friend, Lila, is getting married. I can't wait to help with the preparations. It would be good to take my mind off my father's funeral and other family drama,
said Kate.
I see. Congratulations, Lila. I wish you a lifetime of happiness. Would you two like to tag along to the party I wanted to take Kate to?
Simon asked. Kate disliked the thought of them joining her when she wanted to brag about the party.
Isn't it a private party? It is, but I can get more invitations. I am quite close to the host. If anything, you can ask your sister for an extra invitation. Your brother-in-law normally attends with the king and queen. I've been meaning to meet the new Duchess. What is she like?
Simon asked Kate. Kate wished the conversation did not have to be about Alessandra, but she forced a sweet smile.
My older sister is quite shy, so sometimes it feels like I am the older sister. I care for her, but now that she has this new life, she hardly comes around. She did not even try to attend the funeral.
Really? I don't know much about your family to comment on why she did this, so I will keep my thoughts to myself. The last thing I need is for the Duke to put me on his hit list, said Simon. Curious about how close Simon was to Edgar, Grace asked, Are you friends with the Duke? It seems like the two of you always attend the same parties. We have the same circle of friends, but the Duke and I are not. If I were to say we were, there's no doubt he would harshly shatter my words. There are times when I have spoken to and gotten to know him a little, which is why I am curious about the Duchess. I never pictured the Duke would have gotten married in a flash. Now my mother is jumping down my throat to get married, so I need a date, Simon said, looking at Kate.
I am sure you would have no issues finding a wife, Simon. I would be delighted to be your date. Perhaps it can calm my mother's heart about me getting married. Now that my sister is married, my mother is so determined to get me married. We'll be able to make our mothers happy by being around each other. What do you think?
Kate hinted at them pretending to be together. Your mother must want you to find a husband and move on from grieving your father. It would not be right to toy with her. Besides, I already like you, so I want you to be my date. I will make sure to send the invitation to you by tonight. Unfortunately, I have to go now, but it was nice seeing all of you again, Simon said as he stood up from his chair. Kate wasn't happy that he had to leave so soon, but judging from how quiet Lila was, more than enough was said to knock Lila off the high horse she placed herself on.
I will see you soon, Simon. Goodbye.
She bid him goodbye with a sweet smile. Once Simon was far out of sight, Kate's smile changed.
How rude of you to try talking down on me just because you are getting married, Lila. You are lucky that we have been friends for so long, or I would have said some things that aren't pleasant. I hope you enjoyed feeling like a queen bee for a moment. Well, you still can be a queen bee if your husband-to-be is better than Simon.
Is he? Grace asked, adding to Kate's humiliation of Lila. She liked Lila more than Kate, but did not enjoy how big-headed Lila got for a moment. It was not in Lila's personality to act as she did a moment ago, as she was always quiet.
He's not,
Lila muttered.
Well then, congratulations on getting married, and I am about to snag a marquee. Cheers!
Alessandra dressed and left with Rose to attend the party she had been invited to. She was nervous about the people she would meet that day, but Rose assured her she would be fine and make many friends. I'm surprised my grandson allowed me to snag you away from him for a couple of hours. Did the two of you spend much time together this morning? Rose asked. If anything, she would prefer to sit around and watch how Edgar was with Alessandra. There was much she had to witness regarding this new side of Edgar.
We had a picnic for a little while. It was fun, and I learned that Edgar does not enjoy being out in the garden.
No, he does not. He wondered why, out of all things, it was a hobby his father picked up after stepping away from his old job. The beautiful flowers, dirt, and bugs do not amuse him. Now I see all it took was for a pretty little thing to convince him to have a picnic. I used to put together picnics for him, but he did not enjoy them. Edgar is such a weird man. I commend you for dealing with him daily, Rose complimented Alessandra. Rose adored her grandson, but if her husband were anything like Edgar, she would have strangled him early in the marriage. She might not have gotten married in the first place. She preferred happiness over money when it came to love.
Sometimes I find him annoying, but I enjoy being with him more than anyone else. It just takes some time to get used to him, and you'll find he's not how others portray him. Then again, you can only find this out if he allows you to get close to him. Once he dislikes you, that's it.
Alessandra added, because she had witnessed how his dislike for her father had never changed. Rose thought of something because of this.
Have you ever worried about him one day disliking you and never changing his mind? No,
Alessandra quickly replied. It had nothing to do with a contract, but the sole fact she would never do anything to make Edgar dislike or not trust her. She expected the same from him. There was no reason to be concerned about their relationship when they had been getting along so well.
That's the spirit. I am leaving my grandson in good hands. As long as his trifling mother stops meddling in your marriage, the two of you will live a happy life. Luckily for me, my pain-in-the-ass mother-in-law died at a young age.
Rose smiled, thankful she did not have to deal with the woman for too long.
I was hoping Priscilla and I would have a good relationship, but that was lost from day one.
Alessandra hoped that Rose and Priscilla could get along at some point, as they were two influential women in Edgar's life. No one was getting younger, and they should not live to regret the things they said when the other passed on. Rose looked out the window and announced,
We're here. Prepare to deal with catty women. You told me there was no need to worry, as the women were all nice, and I would make friends.
Alessandra mostly came because Rose promised there would be no drama. They went on this trip to get away from the drama in Lockwood. Alessandra did not need to deal with it here.
The women I am friends with are nice, as are their daughters and granddaughters. However, there are a few I am not fond of attending. Honestly, when you put rich women in one room, there's bound to be cattiness. I will shield you from it, so stick by my side, all right?
Rose held Alessandra's hand to reassure her.
If you wish to leave, we can. I don't want you to think I am setting you up for trouble.
Alessandra thought over what was best for her, and came to what she believed was the best conclusion.
I know you are not trying to set me up, and I would have fun, but I am not in the mood to deal with catty behavior. Please, have the carriage take me back.
Though Rose had offered Alessandra the choice to leave, she was slightly surprised Alessandra had taken it.
I'm sorry for having you pick me up, and you've already told your friends about me, but at this time, I really want to enjoy the peace before Edgar and I go back to Lockwood. There's a lot back home that I already have to deal with, which is part of the reason Edgar decided to travel here. No need for you to keep trying to explain choosing peace. I understand it, dear. I'm used to the playful banter and the cattiness of the women here, but my excitement to show you off made me disregard how you would feel. I have a feeling there is a sad backstory behind the mask, and your life may not have been easy. It is me who needs to apologize to you. I'm sorry. Rose sincerely apologized to Alessandra. Thank you, Alessandra said,
accepting the apology. I would still love to spend some time with you. There's so much I can learn from you. Considering Edgar and I will soon have to return to Lockwood, would you care to spend the day with us? I was planning to go shopping and leave Edgar home, but we can all go out and then return for dinner. Are you asking that I skip out on this party I have been invited to by a dear friend? Rose asked in a stern voice and judged Alessandra.
I don't see why I should miss out on a day with Edgar.
Rose chuckled, enjoying the momentary look of horror on Alessandra's face.
I was merely teasing you, dear. Another example of why Edgar probably should not have spent so much time with her.
Alessandra thought.
Back to my grandson's residence.
Rose ordered the coachman waiting outside to open the door.
My sister is sick and unlikely to attend, so it would not have been fun anyway. Do you have any siblings, Alessandra? I have a half-sister, but we do not have a good relationship,
Alessandra answered.
What a shame. I don't know how life would be without my sister. A child needs to grow up with siblings so that when their parents are gone, they have something there for them. Nothing is stronger than the bond between siblings.
Alessandra saw right through what Rose was trying to say and asked,
Is this your way of telling me that Edgar and I should have more than one child?
Rose clapped her hands, impressed with how quickly Alessandra caught on.
Of course. Why only have one child when I could have many great-grandchildren to play with? I have to tell you early that although Edgar and I will one day have a child, it will not be anytime soon. We are not ready for a child in our lives right now. You are hurting this old woman's heart, but I can wait. I will hold all of my great-grandchildren before I pass on. After winter, I will visit you and Edgar in Lockwood. It's been so long, and I must see my son. I need to whack some sense into him for letting his wife disrespect you,
said Rose.
I don't know if I can say this since I am new to the family, but it has been on my mind for a while. I am not a fan of Priscilla, as she is trying to ruin my marriage, but there seems to be some talk of Edmund cheating on her at some point. I have heard it twice. One of those times, it came from Edgar's mouth. It might have played a large part in her unhappiness. It did not. My husband was the one to arrange their marriage, even though he knew Edmund loved someone. Priscilla found out about this woman before she married my son, and to everyone's surprise, she continued with the wedding. Priscilla made it clear she could live alongside Edmund and his mistress, as long as no one else found out about it to ruin her reputation. I found it nonsense and got rid of the woman,
Rose explained. She continued.
That woman showed up once in a while in Edgar's youth, until Edmund stated he had fallen for Priscilla. Priscilla stated she found love in her marriage, but if you ask me, I would say those two have tolerated each other for the sake of Edgar. Not that they needed to, because that boy hardly cared for either of them and what they did. Priscilla has always been obsessed with her reputation, so she dislikes you, especially Edgar. Edgar no longer needs his parents to be together, so why haven't they divorced?
Alessandra asked.
It is obvious, dear. No one wants their reputation to be damaged by becoming divorced. The young ladies will look at Priscilla differently and question why her marriage failed. Edmund would be fine, but after years of living with that woman, he must care for her enough to not want her to lose the reputation she treasures. Ridiculous.
Rose rolled her eyes.
Perhaps he does love her, but it certainly is more than how much Priscilla loves him. Please let me continue to have a simple marriage.
Alessandra prayed and looked out the window as the carriage took her back home. 20 minutes later, Edgar was standing before them.
What kind of party was that?
Edgar questioned the two women as they exited the carriage.
You are aware you are meant to stay to chat and eat? Is there some new trend among women to get dressed, greet each other at the party, and then return home? Not that I mind, of course. We can continue where we left off this morning.
None of your dirty talk while I am present, Edgar. Alessandra chose peace over drama, so we returned to spend the day with you. Where is that eye candy you go everywhere with?
Rose walked past Edgar as if she was interested in someone else.
Eye candy?
Alessandra looked at Edgar for an explanation.
She's referring to Alfred. My grandmother likes looking at him, but I always have to remind her that Alfred is off limits, and you are too old to be looking for new love.
Edgar repeating the same thing he always told his grandmother when she came looking for Alfred.
Oh, hush. Romance has no number. I will see the two of you inside,
Rose replied.
I was not expecting that. You can let go of my hand now,
Alessandra told Edgar. The moment she stepped out of the carriage, he had held on to it.
Edgar tightened his hold on Alessandra's hand.
I am making sure you don't fall.
I am standing still,
Alessandra retorted, trying to pull her hand out of Edgar's.
But you are bound to start walking any second. Don't lie and say you have plans to stand outside when the rain is going to fall. It is also clear you enjoy my touch due to the red hue of your cheeks. I recall you were the one that permitted me to touch you more.
Not like this,
Alessandra argued.
Oh, so it was meant only for me to touch you sexually? If that's the case...
Edgar placed his hand on her waist before sliding it dangerously slow down to her buttocks.
Edgar!
What? I am doing as you told me to. Or will you allow me to keep holding your hand?
Edgar asked with a grin, knowing he had won this battle.
Duke! Duchess!
Caleb called out the couple as he exited the front door.
Go away.
Edgar ordered the tall man.
Yes, sir.
Caleb quickly turned around to mind his business.
Please stay, Caleb,
Alessandra said. Caleb turned back around, regretting his decision to come outside. Now he was in the midst of whatever they were talking about.
Caleb,
Edgar said in a stern tone.
You can't do that.
Alessandra poked Edgar in the stomach.
Caleb is my bodyguard, which means he listens to me.
He was my loyal subject before he became your bodyguard. Isn't that right, Caleb?
Alessandra and Edgar looked at Caleb to see who he would side with.
Why are the two of you outside when your grandmother is here to spend time with you, Edgar?
Alfred questioned, unknowingly saving Caleb from his torture.
Thank you,
Caleb sang in his head.
Why are you out here when she is more interested in seeing you and you enjoy her fawning over you?
Edgar retorted.
Someone's a little bit too upset that his grandmother has a tiny crush,
Alessandra said to make fun of Edgar.
It seems you have forgotten I have plans to get back at you for leading me on the night before. Keep on making jokes, but do not cry at me when the time comes. I will thoroughly punish you for all the things you have done on this trip,
Edgar said in a low tone. Alessandra had forgotten that Edgar was meant to get back at her for teasing him. She thought they had moved past it after nothing had happened, but Edgar was petty enough to hold on to it.
I think it would be a good idea if I stay over at your grandmother's home tonight.
Certainly not.
Edgar killed her hope to run away.
You and I have a lot to talk about tonight. Keep on making jokes and teasing me. It fuels me to torture you some more.
The sexual tension between the two of them is through the roof, isn't it?
Caleb asked Alfred while the couple were lost in a conversation.
Should all of us leave to give them some privacy? What if we created a romantic vibe and locked them in the house?
Caleb joked. Alfred, on the other hand, enjoyed the idea.
It will take great planning and scheming. Hey, I wasn't serious. Alfred ignored Caleb and continued to plan. We can use his grandmother's presence. I must speak with the butler and have the servants leave early. He's not listening to me.
Caleb gave up. Edgar wouldn't mind Alfred plotting to have him alone with Alessandra, but Caleb wasn't sure how Alessandra would react.
They should get to spend the night alone in the house.
What's the matter with the two of you?
Edgar asked the two men as they were standing around in a daze.
Nothing,
Alfred and Caleb replied at the same time. They looked at each other, taken aback by the unison reaction.
I heard from your grandmother that the Duchess wishes to go out and shop. I suggest we leave now to come back in time to relax before dinner. The Duchess is already dressed to leave. Edgar, run along and put on something fit to wear outside. No,
Edgar replied to piss Alfred off.
I will take care of it,
Alessandra said to reassure Alfred everything would go as he was planning. She tugged on the hand she had to let Edgar keep holding onto in the end, forcing him to follow her inside.
Edgar will be ready in a couple of minutes.
Alfred smiled, grateful he had Alessandra on his side to deal with Edgar.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the Duchess has turned the Duke into a big puppy? Do you think that is what love is, Alfred? Alfred?
Caleb called the butler's name again and looked to his side to see Alfred in deep thought.
I give up. I hope the Duke and Duchess know that I was just joking about locking them inside,
Caleb grumbled. Meanwhile, Alessandra led Edgar upstairs so he could get ready to leave.
If you do not want to come with us, you can stay home,
said Alessandra.
I was only messing with Alfred. I want to join you and my grandmother. It is a good opportunity to see what else interests you so I can take notes for future gifts.
You do not need to buy me any more gifts, Edgar. It's not like it is my birthday. When it comes, I rarely celebrate it. The more gifts you buy for me, the more I feel guilty about not giving you something in return. I haven't started the paintings I promised. I will start them as soon as we return to Lockwood. Our time here has gone by so quickly,
Alessandra sadly spoke. She felt more relaxed here, where no one knew anything about her.
Do you wish to live here?
Edgar asked, seriously considering staying if it would make her happy.
No, you have your estate back in Lockwood and must be close to the king. Plus, I have made new friends I would miss. I am going to miss the peace we had here. The only way we can have that in Lockwood is to allow fewer visitors into our home and avoid big crowds. That will be hard as winter is coming and there will be numerous parties you have to attend.
I do not attend all the parties I am invited to. Only the ones from friends and something to do with Tobias. You will find peace in your life when you learn to ignore others and avoid situations where there will be a conflict, like you did today. Always go with your gut feeling.
Edgar was glad Alessandra had returned home, instead of sticking around somewhere she would be uncomfortable. In a short time, Alessandra went from desperately wanting his grandmother to like her to doing what was best for herself.
Moving on to important matters.
Edgar caged her up against their bedroom door by placing his arms to the side of her shoulders.
You have brought me up here to get me dressed. Does that mean you will help me take off my clothes and put on the ones you will pick out? I suddenly find myself unable to get dressed alone.
Edgar, we both know I am not confident enough to strip and dress you. I only brought you upstairs to convince you to join us. I will give you some privacy,
Alessandra stated, then tried to get away from him, but his hands did not budge. She was forced to look at him pleadingly to let her go.
After being bold in the garden this morning, you won't run away from me tonight, right? You have far more confidence than you think you do. There is no reason to be ashamed of what you want to do with your husband. Like how you touched me as you wanted the night before.
Edgar whispered. He had closed the distance between them so that his warm breath tickled her cheeks as he spoke.
I think you are confident enough to strip me.
Children!
Rose's voice was heard down the hall where they had walked up the stairs to get to their room. Embarrassed, Alessandra pushed Edgar's chest as hard as she could to get him away from her. She regretted this when she heard him groan.
Ugh.
Are you all right?
Just Kill me and get it over with, Alessandra.